Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. We're going to get right into the readings. This is going to be a collective spirit baby reading, and I had somebody spirit baby. They were pointing to this fairy tale inner child deck that I've got on my oracle card shelf, and they were coming forward and they were saying that them coming through and joining you earthside is going to be very, very healing for your childhood and also very healing for your inner child. And they were talking about neglect. So a lot of you could have suffered from neglect at the hands of your parents or maybe grandparents, whoever was raising you and who was significant in your life. You could have faced a lot of neglect. And I feel like this is coming from them being so focused on money, on the fact that they need to work and they need to have that financial success, that material success. And they kind of put this above their children and put this above their family in their way. They thought they were coming from good intentions because it was coming from the fact like, okay, I need more money because then I can give more to my children. But they spent a lot more time at work, and it's like they would have rather have spent more time at work, or that's how it felt for you. So it did cause some trauma for some of you, whoever that resonates with, but that was coming through. But let's start the reading. Can I get a few cards from this deck, please, Spirit? I was also like feeling kind of like an itchiness on my face, and I was kind of like, I kept like scratching my face before I started this reading when I was sitting down to meditate. And now I'm being shown like a bramble bush and like stinging nettles. And you know, you can use those weeds and you rub it where you've got stung by stinging nettles and it's supposed to take the sting away. I'm seeing that. That's coming through for someone. So that could be a childhood memory. But a lot of the time you could have spent a lot of time outside alone. Maybe you were like, would wander off and even go into like the nearby woods or in like a nearby park, and you spent a lot of time alone. Some of you could have got stung really badly by stinging nettles when you were a child. That's coming through for someone. So the first card we've got here is Feminine Wisdom. I'm really drawn to the number of the card, which is 39. So some of you could be 39. So maybe you'll be having your children or your last child later in life at this age. But feminine wisdom is coming through. So a lot of you are very connected to your feminine side, I'm getting, and you may have struggled with your masculine side, or maybe activating and following through on your masculine side. And I feel like this is to do with where you felt neglected, or where you felt the people around you when you were a child were just so focused on money, so focused on success, that you were kind of making it your mission that you didn't want to end up like that. You didn't want to be that. You didn't want to be so focused on money and kind of put it above people that you love and put it above spending time with people and like kind of having your own freedom to doing more of what makes you happy. So that's coming through for someone. So I feel like now your masculine side, you're realizing that you kind of have this wounding. So you're realigning, I'm hearing, you're realigning to your masculine side to bring your divine feminine and your divine masculine into union. And a lot of you have already done this, and you're getting a lot of pearls of wisdom that are coming from your masculine side. Maybe you didn't expect. Maybe you've always held like women or the divine feminine in high regard because of this wounding that you had, but you're realizing actually the divine masculine has a lot of wisdom. The divine masculine is to a piece of the puzzle that every single human being needs. It's why we all have a divine feminine and a divine masculine within us. I'm seeing a peacock. So you could be seeing peacocks everywhere, but obviously peacocks are connected, particularly when it's the male peacock. They're the very colourful one, because they're the ones who will court the female peacock and get her attention. But that's coming through for someone. So you could be seeing peacocks everywhere. Maybe where you live, there's a lot of peacocks. What else, Spirit? Can I get another card from this deck, please? And a lot of you are realizing how much wisdom that you hold from your childhood. And this is also coming through how wisdom, it's like a quote I'm hearing. It's like, how blessed I am to be born both poor and wise. How blessed I am to be born both poor and wise. So you see, like, maybe you come from a family or bloodline, it's quite snobby. Maybe that's what it is. There's a lot of focus on finances because they already have a lot of finances. They have a lot of generational wealth, and they need to bring more in. They're so focused on this money. And you're seeing like how much happiness and freedom and beauty are in people who don't have as much money, who aren't as blessed when it comes to finances, who aren't as well off, and they too hold a lot of wisdom. So maybe like you were taught that wisdom, or people who are intelligent, people who are smart, this is connected to people who are successful and have money. And you're like, wait a minute, no, what does success mean to you firstly? Because success doesn't always mean financial abundance to some people. And you're like, no, people who are looked at as having less than, who maybe don't live in a mansion, maybe just have enough to have that roof over their head and get by. Look how happy they are. Look how they're smiling. I'm just seeing like a child who's beaming from ear to ear. Like, look how they're smiling. They're so happy and they have less. That's coming through for someone. So you could have looked at other children this way who maybe had more of their parents' time, who maybe didn't come from a background where they were as well off, and they were happy because they had the love, the attention, the affection from their parents. And this is what you desired. This is what you needed when you were a child. We have Peace Lily. A lot of you are seeing like a white flag being held up. So a lot of you could maybe have expressed this or brought this up to your parents or your caregivers when you were a child. I'm hearing servants. So some of you could have been raised in like in a way where you had like maids, or maybe had like a housekeeper or a servants who lived with you within your home, or maybe you had a stay-in nanny. You could have kind of spent more time with the nanny and really connected more to the nanny than your own parents and grandparents, I'm getting. But Peace Lily, it's like you're thrown in the towel, I'm hearing. You don't want to be arguing or fighting with your parents, with your family members anymore. For some of you, there could be like a kind of a war and a battle going on because you brought this up, and they didn't really understand where you were coming from, because they were like, look, I've done all this for you. I brought all of this wealth in for you to make your life better, but you're focusing on where you didn't have the love and the attention that you needed, because that would have been your love language. Time, energy, affection, all of this would have been your love language. So it's like you're putting up the white flag now, and you don't want to argue anymore, or go back and forth about who was right and who was wrong and what the actual intentions were. And we have Songbird. Yeah, a lot of you have done a lot of letting go and a lot of forgiving. And it's like you found your voice again and you're singing again. Some of you could have always like danced around, sung when you were younger, because I'm seeing a little girl just twirling around. She's wearing like a kind of tutu, like a dress that you would put on, like a princess dress, but it has a really puffy bottom half, and she's just twirling around and singing. So a lot of you have got your voice back and you're singing again. Some of you could be singers. You could work in the music industry. That's coming through for someone. But the path you were on, it looks a bit different from your family's path. But a lot of your family members, and some of them that you had been arguing with, you're realising they did had to overcome certain challenges and obstacles to get them on this path of abundance. So there are certain things that they moved out of the way, and they made that part of the path clearer for you then to tread. And you're realising where your ancestors did this. And this is helping you with your forgiveness, where you felt let down, where you felt like you didn't have attention and you weren't loved and you weren't seen. Because there was a difference when it came to the love languages, and maybe you weren't understanding their intention with focusing so much on work. And we have Resurrection. But this is the thing, this is where people need to get the balance right, obviously, because when you have children, your children need to also be your priority, not just yourself. And I think we're seeing like with a lot of men, with a lot of masculines, when it comes to like a lot of men who are on podcasts who are talking about how that is supposed to be the way, where the man doesn't really see the kids and he's out earning the money and he's out being the breadwinner. And we're realizing that there needs to be more of a balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine, because we need each other, but also children need the mother and the father. We have Resurrection. So I feel like a lot of you are now being resurrected completely, and you've got all of your ancestors behind you. So maybe before you were kind of damning your ancestral line. You were kind of like brushing them off and downing them, like, why were they so focused on money? Why are they so concerned with this generational wealth? And you're realizing the magic that is held in having financial abundance, because obviously then you have the resources to be able to do more, and you can then help other people. You can help these people that you were looking at that seemed to be always happy, that had less. You can help them and give them more financial freedom to be able to do more and add to their happiness. It's like you're having all these realizations, and this is resurrecting you. What else, Spirit? Obviously it's Christmas time, but you could be seeing like reindeers everywhere, and photos of reindeers everywhere, and I feel like you'd be seeing them still a lot within January. And this is really when these truths are going to solidify within you, when this resurrection is really going to happen. It's in winter. It's in the early months. I'm here in January and February, the early months. What else, Spirit? Can I get one more card, please, from this deck? This one. We have Starseed. So a lot of you could really connect with the fact that your soul is a starseed. that you came here from different dimensions and different realms, and then your soul has been on so many different travels. I'm hearing Doctor Who. It's a program in the UK, but I'm hearing Doctor Who. But basically, he's a time traveler, and his soul is infinite, so he never dies. He's always resurrected. You see, we have this resurrection card that came out. He's always resurrected. His soul, his consciousness will come back with all of his memories in a different body each time that he is resurrected. But he is infinite, and you're realizing you are infinite. You're realizing your soul. And this means that you start looking at other people around you and the people that raised you and in your ancestry as souls too. And their souls have been on these journeys. Their souls too have visited different dimensions and different realms. I'm hearing different parallel universes as well. And a lot of you could have been going down that rabbit hole and really delving deep on star seeds and which star seed race that you connect to the most, that you resonate with the most. I am hearing Palladian and Arcturian. You could be seeing orbs everywhere that look like this, and maybe they're appearing in photos, but I am seeing old photos, you know, like the black and white photos. I'm seeing old photos, the ones you would probably have to develop in like one of those red rooms. I'm seeing that, and there's orbs on those. So you could be looking back at old photos within your ancestral line, and you're realising that there's orbs and there's spirits within these photos. But you feel much more connected, not only with yourself, but with your roots. And I feel like you could have always run away from your roots. I'm hearing the word neglected again. So where you felt neglected, maybe you then neglected your root and neglected your ancestors. But you're finding your way back home to self and your way back home to your ancestors. I'm going to get some poems for my Spirit Baby deck. So what does the collective need to hear? Jesus. We're going to take the one that fell out on my leg. So this one here says, the power of three triple T, identical in looks, one always had their head in books. One thinks they're faster than Sonic, one is very theatrical. At first you may see this conception as impractical, but you prayed for us. Time to upgrade our car to a small bus. We all have a lovely nature, so that's a plus. Stocking up on batteries will be a must. If there isn't 3 times the same toy, one of us is likely to kick up a fuss. The theatrical one, cough cough. So triplets is coming through for someone. You yourself could be a triplet, or you may have like triplets and twins, multiple births within your family. Because I'm just seeing like an old photo. It's in black and white, and it's got three people that look the same. So maybe you come from a bloodline where there's a lot of twins and there's a lot of triplets within your bloodline. Those of you who will be having children or having your last children at a later age, because 39 was coming through, you could be having medical assistance, and this is where you will have that multiple birth. That some of you may be having triplets. What else, Spirit? Do you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that's coming through. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So you could have been a fan of that show when you were younger. I'm hearing me. So it's also this Spirit Baby coming through who's going to be a fan of the Ninja Turtles. What else, Spirit? Can I get one at a time, please? Thank you. We have Cheaper by the Dozen, one of the largest families on our street. We're basically a football team. This was both your dream to be the open door where souls need worry no more. Biological, adopted, fostered, you name it, we've got it. Like the Brady Bunch. Blended families are welcome too. Only downside, there'll always be someone in the loo. Yeah, so I'm just seeing like a huge house and like huge land. I'm hearing aristocrat, but I'm seeing a huge mansion and land, and there's just a lot of kids and there's a lot of people there. It looks like some sort of like summer barbecue or party. But this is what I'm seeing, like people in and out of the house. They're all running around, having the freedom and the space to run around and play. I feel like this is your dream. This is what you've always wanted, or this can be where you came from. And maybe this is also where that energy of neglect was coming through. Maybe you were adopted, maybe you were fostered, maybe you were an orphan. And it was kind of always that open door. Maybe you felt like you was always passed around. Again, I'm hearing nanny. So you could have felt like you were raised more so by your nannies than by your parents or guardians or caregivers. What else, Spirit? Jeez. One at a time, please. Can I get one more poem for the collective? Thank you. We have the crow and the raven, I will be a safe haven. A healing is in sight, I believe with all my little might, and give the non-believers a big fright. A creature of the night, a witch, a ghoul, why are people so easily fooled? I'm a lover, not a fighter, but don't judge what you won't understand. Sometimes my soul feels foreign to this land, but it's all part of a divine plan. To not fit in until I meet my true kin. This is giving starseed vibes, this poem. To this card that came out earlier. So not only are you a starseed and you're aware of this, but your spirit baby coming through is going to be very connected to a certain starseed race. It could be the same one as you, but they're going to have this remembrance of their soul, where their soul's been before. I feel like they'll be telling you stories. I'm just hearing mummy, mummy. They're excited to telling you about who they were before they were this child and they were with you and you were their parent. So they could be that young child who says, oh, do you remember when I lived here in this country, and inscribing like every single detail of the home and the house and the land, and they're like, yeah, remember when I was a parent and I held all these kids. They're going to be saying things like that because they're remembering their past lives. If that is coming through for someone, you could have always been this way inclined, because I'm just having a book flash up in my face and it's called Old Souls, but it has stories of children who have recollection, did I say that right? Anyway, of their past lives. That's coming through. So you could have read that book. Maybe that book really resonated with you. It could have been, I'm hearing book Bible. It could have been your book Bible in the past, because it really helped you reach those aha moments and have that remembrance that you are a soul and you've been to many different dimensions and realms, and this isn't your first time on earth. And it really helped you with your forgiveness and letting go of the people around you in childhood who you feel like didn't really understand you or know how to love you properly. This deck is very hard to shuffle. Hopefully they come out easy. Yep, there we go. We'll take those through. We have Child of Hearts. And when I look at this again, it's just giving me the vibes of like past life and like describing every single inch of the house. And I feel like this spirit baby coming through is going to have a very, very wild imagination, very vivid imagination. They could even grow up to be an illustrator, because I heard illustrator. They could be very talented when it comes to drawing, when it comes to painting at a very young age. This could also resonate with you or your partner. But there is a nest here with a bird on it. I'll show you in a second. There's a little girl staring at 2 flower pots, and then in the background there's 3 little bears. So again, it's the triplets coming through, and with the flower pots I'm also getting twins. So again, you could have a history of multiples within your ancestry. But I love how you have the bird's nest here and you have the 2 eggs, because that is connected to fertility. It's connected to abundance. It's connected to fertility. It's a good omen in a spirit baby reading. But again, this card is that confirmation of the connection that this spirit baby is going to have with their past lives. And with you, obviously, remember that your soul would have known your children's soul in past lives. I feel like this is like a reconciliation, like you and this soul are coming back together. Maybe you hadn't been together in your last few past lives, and now you're going to be coming back together. It's like you'd been on different travels. I'm seeing light again. Like your souls were like traveling around in different dimensions and different realms, and you weren't together. You were separated for a while, and now you're being brought back together with this soul, with your child. But again, the 3 bears are confirming that some of you will be having triplets, or you have triplets within your ancestry. We have wishing upon a star. Love that. We have bird again in here, so look out for birds. You could be seeing significant birds everywhere. Maybe like very, very colourful birds. Like birds that you don't maybe get where you were born or where you're from. You could be like seeing photos of them online. Maybe people are sending you photos. Look at this beautiful bird. It could be getting like a grandparent, like an elder in your family may enjoy like sending you photos of birds. Maybe they're a bird watcher. But wishing upon a star, so a wish is about to come true. I'm hearing prayer answered, a prayer answered. So this spirit baby could be coming through Earth side very, very soon. And this is because you weren't afraid to delve within the well of yourself. So when you're ascending, before we can ascend and move to the next level, you have to delve within the well of yourself and truly get to know yourself and unearth any demons or any unaccountability that you do need to be taken. So it's like facing up to your own mistakes and facing up to where you may have misjudged people. This could have been coming from childhood, where you actually misjudged your parents or your grandparents because you didn't understand them and why they were so focused on the material. You could also be in like stars, seeing stars everywhere. I heard of Bethlehem. Some of you could be in the public eye. Like maybe you are famous. We have 8 of Hearts because I'm seeing the Hollywood stars. We have 8 of Hearts. There's a lot of beautiful heart energy coming through. And you see how all of those hearts in the water, they've got a feather. They're attached to a feather. So there's a lot of angelic guidance I'm hearing. Angelic guidance around you at present. And I feel like throughout your life, you've had a lot of angelic guidance. You've been very, very connected to the other side. Some of you may have, they're bringing up a memory when I was little. It was basically the home that we lived in. Somebody had passed away within that home. But I always used to see this man. And there was a rose bush that his wife had planted for him in our garden. They're bringing up this memory. So some of you could have a rose bush that's planted on your family land, or that you have planted in your garden for a passed over loved one that's coming through for someone. But they're also saying like back then, I was more clairvoyant than I am today. Like it somewhat had got repressed as I grew up into an adult, but I was a lot more clairvoyant to the point where there was just no veil. I was just always seeing like dead people, always seeing different kinds of spirits. And they'd always seem to be like having more fun on the other side. I'd always be like watching and looking. And I'm like, the spirits, like everyone over here seems to be like a bit more miserable. And it's so like hard, like as in dense on this side. I'm like, I want to go over there. How do I get over there? Like, where's my ticket? It's like they always seem to be having a party on the other side. Some of you could have been the same way inclined. Maybe you were just more intrigued by the other side than this earthly matter than being here, which is probably why you didn't understand when the people around you were so focused on the material and money. So that's coming through for someone. Hold on. Yeah, so I also noticed on this card, you have the music symbol. We've got a bird again, so birds are very significant. But you've got the music symbol. The music came up earlier, so you could be in the music industry. Or maybe this child would be destined to be in the music industry. They could be very musically inclined. And we have these 2 mermaids down here. So it's representing the divine masculine, the divine feminine. But this could also be twins that is coming through. But again, it's that confirmation of you connecting to your divine masculine, your divine feminine within, and you healing your inner child. Because obviously here it's mermaids, but it's children. And on the bottom of the deck here, we have 3 of Swords. And normally with the 3 of Swords, it's normally that heart that's got swords within it. And it normally depicts heartache. But look how beautiful this card is here. So this is depicting the end of that heartache, the end of that wound that you carried from childhood, of not really feeling like you were understood and feeling neglected. It's the end of that, because you've now found yourself. And look how she's glowing. Again, this is a triangle. She's playing the triangle, so music is coming through. I'm seeing a choir. So you could be part of a choir now. Maybe you were part of a choir when you were younger. Some of you may have been part of a choir like at church, or if you were raised in a certain religion, you could have been part of a choir, or you could have played in a certain instrument in school. That's coming through for someone. But again, we have another bird, and this is a white dove. And my guide's always saying the sign is a white dove. The sign is a white dove. It represents purity, spirit, and innocence. So you're claiming all of this back from childhood. That you lost or that was repressed. It's like you found your castle. I feel like a lot of you have created your dream life, or you're in the midst right now of creating your dream life. They're telling me to look at the top. The top we have is the Wizard. And I'm hearing you found the crown jewel. You found the crown jewel. The crown jewel. I can't even speak properly. I love how the trees in the background, they have faces. So you could be someone who sees faces in everything. I'm hearing even the brick wall. You see shadows, shapes, faces, and everything. You could do like cloud divination, where you see certain symbols and shapes within the clouds. But you see faces within anything. This is part of your clairvoyance. It's part of your psychic nature. And I feel like this spirit baby coming through is going to be the same way inclined. But I'm hearing unicorn. So you hold that like unicorn energy. And this spirit baby coming through is going to hold that unicorn energy. And this unicorn has a star. You see, it has a star on it. So star is coming through. So a lot of you, I'm hearing stardom again. And they're showing me the Hollywood stars. Some of you could be from Hollywood. But I feel like you just have that it factor if you're not in the public eye. If you're not famous. This deck next. Okay. Can I get a few cards, please, for the collective from this deck? You followed the yellow brick road, Spirit is saying. So you walked a path that was a bit different from your family, from your ancestry, of what you're like great-grandparent, great-great-grandparent have done. You walked a kind of different path to them that was more spiritual in nature. We have Goddess of the Sacred Path, let go of logic and trust your intuition. Exactly that. They're confirming that. And look, it's got stars. So you have that star factor, that it factor that is connected to your energy, to your consciousness, and to your soul. You found the sun, I'm hearing. You found the sun. This ball over here, it kind of looks like a giant crystal ball. So some of you could be psychic mediums yourself, where maybe you practice divination, or this could just be a huge part of your life. It could be a hobby, not necessarily like a career, but it could be a hobby that it's more like a passion, it's more of a purpose, but it doesn't mean that you offer it to the general public. That's coming through for someone. But again, this is just confirming that you have that it factor, that star factor. And this spirit baby coming through is also going to hold a very similar energy for you. And the path that they walk is going to have less adversity and less obstacles because you've already done it. You've already broken those generational curses. You've already opened your family's minds, I'm hearing. We have Angel of Pleasure. Take pleasure in the things that you do. Let me just cover that part. Yeah, so we have an angel on here. And she's in the pond, or she's in water. And then she's like surrounded by fishes, but also light. And this is that kind of energy that you hold. So I am getting a lot of you could be healers. But you're very, very creative. And the more that you healed, the more that you forgave, the more your creative ability went through the roof. But again, you're very tapped into your divine feminine. So I feel like you have to do a bit more work in connecting to your divine masculine. But you have been doing this to bring yourself into union, so you feel more whole. What else, Spirit? Can I get one? Thank you. We have God of Conflict Resolution. You are being encouraged to walk away from a current conflict. Yeah, exactly this. This is what you did. This is why I was seeing that white flag. You put the white flag up and was like, I don't want to argue anymore. It is what it is. Like, we'll agree to disagree. That's come through for someone. Again, look, we got the star. And look how the third eye is lit up. So if your clairvoyance hasn't awoken yet, this is going to be happening in the first few months of 2025. So Jan and February, your clairvoyance is going to be going through a huge awakening and a huge upgrade. And maybe this is when you're truly going to tap into this it and this star factor that you do hold. Because you need to be tapping into that. You need to be in that frequency, in that main character energy for this spirit baby to be joining your earth side. No, they want this one. Can I get a few cards from this deck? What does the collective need to hear, Spirit? They're saying don't be afraid that other people may be watching you, or don't be afraid to be yourself around certain people. So this could be family members or people who are just very different to you. They're saying don't be afraid and don't hold back. Always be your authentic self. We have talk to your inner child like you talk to me. Little you needs some attention yet. I feel like this is that confirmation that when you were a child, you always craved and you loved having attention. Some of you are here in the centre of attention, so you could have dreamed of and really desired and wanted to be the centre of attention, like wanted to be the only child. Some of you could have been raised around a lot of siblings, or again, you could have been in the system, so you could have been in foster homes, you could have been adopted. That's coming through for somebody. But your inner child, you've been doing a lot of programming and holding. I'm just seeing like hugging and holding a lot of space for your inner child. And I feel like you and your inner child are hand in hand now. You are one. And this is where it's making that room, and it's led you down that path to union for your divine masculine and your divine feminine. Your inner child is a huge key in this self-union. We have nothing is possible. You can do whatever you set your mind to. I believe in you. I feel like this is your spirit baby saying this, and you see there's a little spirit baby is kind of hiding and looking. So they are watching you, and they want you to know that they are watching you. Some of you could have seen them or felt them or heard them psychically around you. So you know that you are being watched, and you know that they're gearing up to come through. Again, look, we've got the star here. I also feel like a lot of children, the new wave of kids coming through, a lot of them are destined to be stars. I'm hearing the new kind of star, the new celebrity, because they're really connected to their heart and Christ consciousness. And they're going to be put in the spotlight by God. We have spring at the bottom of the deck. So you could conceive or be due in spring. But obviously spring is connected to rebirth. This deck now? No? Okay. They want some timings. So we're going to get some timings when it comes to conception, or maybe when you'll be due. You've got a weekday. So a weekday significant. Then we have a waxing gibbous. So you could be due or conceive on a waxing gibbous. We have March. Obviously March is connected to spring. So we've got spring coming through twice now. And we have today. Maybe some of you are pregnant right now and you don't even realise yet. No, but obviously today is connecting to it being soon. And I was picking that up. But some of these spirit babies are ready to be joining you Earthside very soon. Some of you could have had a realization of how much you have healed and how much you have forgiven people from your past. And we have, at the new moon, could be when you conceive or a conception date. And then we have 2 weeks. I love how you have all the flowers here. So again, it's connected to spring. So it's like a triple confirmation of spring. And 2 weeks obviously is very, very close as well. Now this deck, yeah. We have, that was quick. Holy Spirit, work through me. Look, we have the white dove again. Look out for birds, but particularly the white dove. The white dove is a huge sign for you guys that you're either about to conceive or this spirit baby is about to be coming through. And obviously it is connected to the Holy Spirit. So you have really connected to that spark of the divine within you. And this has really helped you to heal. Maybe the white dove was like a significant spirit animal or a totem animal that was working with you through your healing. Through you allowing to forgive and let go and see other people as souls. The way that you remember that you are a soul and you've been here, there and everywhere. And this is not your first rodeo. I'm hearing this is not your first rodeo on Earth, on Mother Earth. What else, Spirit? Jeez, they're flying out today. I'm not taking all of that. This one. Unity, coexist, and tolerance. This is literally what you had to learn to do, look, to coexist with those around you when you were a child. And share. I feel like a lot of you were probably made to share all of your toys or what little time you did get with your parents or your guardians. You had to share that with other children around you. You could have had a lot of siblings, or again, you could have been around like a lot of, or maybe your parents adopted or were a foster home. So you kind of had to share all of their time, affection, and your toys, I'm hearing. Some of you may have had to have shared your room. You might not have had your own room growing up. But this again has helped you not only to have patience, I'm hearing have patience, but it's also taught you how, again, not to focus on material things, or this is just a material thing, so it doesn't matter if it gets broken, it doesn't matter if it gets broken, it doesn't matter if it goes missing. That's coming through. So it's like if this spirit baby were to break something of yours, your reaction wouldn't be like to traumatize them and scream at them and be like, what the hell are you doing? Get out of my room. You wouldn't be doing that. You'd be like, it's okay. Like, be careful next time, but it's just a thing. Like, your reaction is going to be very, very calm. And I want to get some, do you want some story dice? Let's get some story dice. I'm going to get 4. We have aeroplane. So you guys could travel a lot. Maybe you met your significant other. This is for someone while you were traveling, because I'm seeing you bump into someone and you both have suitcases. But you could travel a lot. You could dream of traveling a lot and showing like your children the world. You want your children to see the world and experience new people, new cultures. Again, this ties into that unity. You want them to be very unified when it comes to humanity. And not focus on what you can get out of other people. Like what other people can give you. We have a letter and a note. I had songwriter. So some of you could write song lyrics. Again, because the music industry kept coming through. So some of you could write song lyrics. You could be a ghost writer. That's coming through for someone. And this could also be the destiny of your child. I heard gospel. So maybe they're going to write like quite spiritual songs or gospel music. Or they could be a gospel singer. We have the stars and the moon. So again, the star keeps coming through. So the star is a very significant symbol here. But it is connected to that it factor and stardom of both you and the spirit baby that will be coming through you. And we have the crescent moon. which could be significant date for conception or for birth. One more. We have trees. So again, this is connected to the family tree and your ancestry. So your ancestry is very, very significant here. Again, they're saying to forgive and release, and you have been doing that, but they want you to continue to do that, because when you are getting to the last layer, it does feel very, very heavy when you're really and truly about to break the chains off of yourself and off of your passed over loved ones, off of your ancestors. This is when things can get very, very frustrating and almost like annoying. Like maybe your family at present, they could be annoying you. It could just be little things, and this is just because you're in that last layer of forgiveness and healing. And it's about to really and truly lift, and then you're going to break free. And I want to get some charms for you guys. Let me pause because it is loud. Look what has come out in the charms that I grabbed. Of course, it's a star. So the star has come through again. So there is no denying that you have that star factor. If you don't feel like you do, you need to be waking up to the fact that you do have that it and that star factor. It's literally within your auric field, because you need to be in this energy for this spirit baby to be joining you earthside. You have a lot of light. I'm hearing a lot of light. We have a lollipop. So you could have a sweet tooth, or this spirit baby is going to really enjoy lollipops. I feel like if you do have sweets, particularly like lollipops, because I'm seeing lollipops in a jar, you're going to have to hide that jar, put it out of reach where they can't see it and their little hands can't grab at it. And we have a little girl, she's blowing bubble gum. So again, connected to enjoying like sweet things, sweet treats, I'm hearing. But this could be a confirmation for some of you. Always felt like you're going to be having a little girl, or you'll be having a little girl next. And we have like a crown here. Again, it's pink, but it also has a blue bow. So this could be connected to multiples, having like one boy and one girl, or both girls and boys. But again, the crown represents not only the crown chakra, but being crowned by Mother Earth and being crowned by God. And you get crowned when you do that inner work, when you do that shadow work, when you ascend, when you claim yourself. This is when you are crowned. I'm hearing you're on your way to your crowning. Like some of you are getting ready, you're getting the gown ready, you're doing the makeup, and you're putting the robes on, and you're like on your way to being crowned. So a lot of you, you're about to experience this crowning from the divine. We have a purple heart here, and it says I love you, and it has flowers on it. So again, we had a lot of spring come out, and a lot of cards with flowers on. So flowers are very, very significant. You could conceive in the springtime, or maybe that's when you'll be due. You'll be having a spring baby. And we have the word fearless. A lot of you, you're very, very fearless when it comes to, I feel like when it comes to taking risks. In the past, you may have held yourself back, but you're very fearless in terms of not being afraid to be that weirdo, of not being afraid to be your authentic self and walk that yellow brick road. You're very fearless when it comes to your divine feminine, but this fearlessness is being awoken when it comes to your divine masculine, when it comes to actually making the physical movement and taking that leap of faith of being that full card. And then we have... it says witching hour. So again, it's confirming that you are very, very spiritual, and you're very connected to spiritual truth. You're very connected to the other side, and you're not afraid of death. You're not afraid of the circle of life, I'm hearing. I feel like you teach a lot of people about the other side and about death, just by like being that example. And we have a book here. When I see this kind of books, I always connect it to the Akashic records and the soul's records. So again, you are aware of where your soul has been before, of the fact that your soul is infinite, and that we don't die. This physical vessel dies, but the spirit, the essence, it moves and it goes back to source. Energy never dies, it just moves. And then we have here, it looks like some sort of, looks like a macaroon or like a chocolate cake coming through. So again, it's confirming the sweet tooth. Those of you who came from like financially well-off backgrounds, it could have been like a lot of these kind of treats that were always readily available on the table. Like you always had an abundance of things like this, of treats, and spoiled in that way when it comes to material possessions. But I also feel like there's an energy of people coming through who would have grown up in the system, who maybe were adopted or fostered, or maybe your parents were that home, were that hub. What kind of people were in and out, and you had to then share everything. So there's like two sides of the spectrum that's coming through. Anything else, Spirit? Let's get another poem. Can I get one more poem for the collective? Thank you. Okay, so this one says, Peter Rabbit, books hold so much magic. The old school classic tales never ever fail. Daddy gets lost in books. They take him to mystical lands. I have always been in his plans. We speak to each other in dreams. This world isn't always as it seems, but that's okay. There'll always be better days. Let Daddy soothe your funny tummy. Learn to accept help more mummy. Some of you, I feel like that already came through, didn't it, with the writing? It was the songwriting, but some of you could be writing a book as well. And I feel like this child is going to be having a knack. They're saying a knack, not a talent, but a knack for writing, for expressing themselves through the written word. That's coming through for someone. Peter Rabbit as well. You could be seeing a lot of like Peter Rabbit themed baby clothes everywhere. Basically, when you've been feeling your spirit baby around you, that may be like a little nudge, a little hint that they want you to buy it. Is that it, Spirit? Yeah. So that is all the messages that's coming through. I hope that did resonate with someone out there, and I will see you in my next video.